Dr. Stephen Strange embarks on the most important paranormal investigation of his career as he sets out to solve an attempted murder, his own, and with his most trusted friend also at death's door, Strange turns to an unexpected corner of the Marvel Universe to recruit a new ally. 2016 champs. Anyways, welcome back guys to another edition of A Week in Geekdom here on YouTube. This is That Other Review Show, and yes, I am reviewing Doctor Strange The Oath, and I'm really excited about it because if you haven't heard, we have a Doctor Strange movie that just came out, and I will also be discussing that movie. So what is it about The Oath that is on everybody's recommended list of Doctor Strange must-reads or essential runs or whatever? And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I have 0 Doctor Strange books in my collection. He is a great character, but it is one of those obscure ones. Like, he's famous enough where if you're a comic book fan, you know who he is, but if you go in depth, you realize that you don't really know that much about him. You know, with the movie coming out, I am just so happy that more people are discovering Doctor Strange like myself. I know the character's backstory. I even watched that animated movie from a few years ago, back when Marvel attempted to do animated movies. I don't know what happened with that. The character, I knew about him, but for some reason I just stayed away from reading any of his books until now, and I just had to review it. I just had to read something strange, and a bunch of good friends recommended The Oath as a great starting point. And let me tell you guys, this is the perfect modern Doctor Strange story to get you hooked, to get you in love with this character, and will make you want to read more about him. Trust me guys, this is a fantastic read. Brian K. Vaughan at the top of his game once again. I thought this was spectacular, especially with art by the fabulous Marcos Martin. The dude is just on point with every single drawing in this book. It's so refined and so precise, concise, and just overall great, man. It just has that throwback feel, but at the same time it's modern. Boy, I gotta tell you, I freaking loved it. So what is The Oath about? I told you at the beginning, Doctor Strange apparently is solving his own murder, but really early on you find out this isn't exactly what it seems, and this is a story about the clash between two worlds, between the scientific world and the magical side of things, and how they're pretty damn interconnected in ways that are sort of mysterious to us. Just because things haven't happened yet doesn't mean you can't explain them. The real meat of the story, however, is Doctor Strange finding out how he can solve his own murder, and Wong, the servant and badass Wong, he is going through some hardships and is at death's door as well, so he's trying to find out how he can save his life, and some other shenanigans ensue. The real essence of the book, what makes it so satisfying, is the fact that this is a story where it's more important to be the doctor than it is to be the strange part, you know? This is more about his past and his history as the Sorcerer Supreme, you know, before he was the Sorcerer Supreme, and his dealings with the medical field and all that stuff. So the villain corresponds to that aspect of Strange's life. The ending, it's satisfying. You can see it from a mile away, but at the end of the day, Brian writes a very funny, offbeat tale of characters trying to save the life of a comrade or save the life of so many people with what knowledge they acquire throughout the story, which I won't spoil for you guys, but that's in essence what the story is trying to do for us, the readers, especially for me, that I'm a newbie to the Strange world. You know, you get that pompous, arrogant Strange from his early days. They don't touch upon his transition to Strange that much. He's already the Sorcerer Supreme when the book starts. He's already well into his run as the Sorcerer Supreme. But yeah, you get a nice introduction to the character. This has everything. It has a solid intrigue where you want to know what is happening to this character. Why is this character going through what he is going through. Brian K. Vaughan, of course, from so many great books out there, really gets to the bottom of what makes Strange such a compelling character. You know, he has this relationship with Wong that's similar to like Batman and Alfred, where Wong really does care. They do care for each other, and Wong is such a solid foundation for Stephen Strange, if that makes any sense. So I really appreciated that the book examines their dynamic and how much they get along and how much they need each other. Obviously, Wong keeps him in line and keeps him focused on what he has to do, and this book doesn't go too far out there with the whole psychedelic notions from the Ditko era and everything else that came after. It just it stays focused on a Stephen Strange story set in New York City. And by the way, one of my favorite scenes in the book just happens to be those opening pages, and I'm gonna highlight them for you. We get a visit to Midnight Nurse's clinic, and we see Iron Fist with Araña. And that scene, my god, that was just my favorite part of the whole book, because it just showed you a different side of the Cape and Cowl world in the Marvel universe, and these characters, like, just like we would cross into each other at the hospital, they're doing the same, and we see these two heroes just exchanging words and advice on staying safe out there and fighting against supervillains, and you know, obviously they are there to get treated by the nurse. So I thought that was pretty great, and I'm gonna show you right now. It's not a spoiler whatsoever, trust me guys. This is probably my favorite drawing in the whole book. Marcos really killed it. It's when you find out like Doctor Strange is in deep trouble. This is literally page 3, so really I'm not spoiling anything. Just look at that, man. Great detail, and like I mentioned earlier, it has that finesse where you're like, it looks like the perfect blend of old classic Marvel stories with like new. And that is, to me, what I like about Marcos in his art. So yeah, you get some introductions to some villains where I don't know specifically if the character was around before, but obviously from Strange's reaction when he finds out who the main adversary is, he is pretty interesting. I thought the character was great. I thought it was a parallel to Strange's self. Unlike Mordo, where he is an adversary from a magical side, I guess, from the old days, this villain is from his past self as a top bill surgeon. So I thought that was pretty interesting how these two characters, how they represent different aspects of Stephen Strange, aka Doctor Strange. I thought the book was pretty quick. It's only 5 issues. I thought maybe the book could have been a little longer, maybe like 3 more issues, but then again, it would have lost its witty charm. So it's a pretty thin and kind of measly looking trade. So yeah guys, if you're interested, go ahead and pick it up. I highly recommend it. And as always, you can follow me on your favorite social media platform, from Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and Periscope. Just type "A Week in Geekdom" and I'm there for you guys. Alright, I gotta continue reading more stuff, and next time you see me, I will be discussing the Doctor Strange live-action movie. So I will catch you on our next video. Thank you for tuning in to another installment. You can keep the conversation going through your favorite social media platform. You can like and subscribe to our YouTube page, follow us on Twitter, like our fan page on Facebook, and favorite our pics on Instagram. You can also write to us for feedback, suggestions, and such via aweekingeekdom@gmail.com. Until next time. But what are you gonna do, Master? Defy expectations.